What's up, everybody? Gridbot Guru here. Today, what we're going to do is we are going to talk about two things. The first thing we're going to talk about is tokens on Pionex. The second thing we're going to talk about, actually three things. Second thing we're going to talk about is your risk to reward ratio, okay? And third thing is what I expect to happen with the markets in the upcoming days, if not the next week, all right? So if you are not part of Pionex, click the link below, sign up with us. We are the lowest, if not, or one of the lowest, if not the lowest trading exchanges. You're US based. It's US licensed, I believe. It's a great exchange to use. They have built-in trading bots for you to end up using, for you to utilize, and they're all free. So they're all built into the exchange. It's not something that you have to pay extra in order to have access to this. Again, three things today. First, tokens. Second, risk to reward. Third, what I see Bitcoin doing in the upcoming days. All right, so let's go ahead and let's get started. All right, so if you guys are new to the channel, I like to use zone-to-zone trading. And basically what that is where there is a zone or an area, if you will, of buying and selling. All right, and I have several weeks ago, I put this top box in, and I have a bottom box, and I kind of have a secondary box here. That is one of those where it's just kind of being mindful of this area. That's why I have it as a different color. So what we have done is we've dipped down into this bottom box. And what we did was people were like, oh, this is a good area to buy. If you're not familiar with zone-to-zone trading, go check out my other video. I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to keep moving. So you have this thing with Pionex, you have what's called tokens, and they use leverage. Currently right now, I think Pionex is trying to get rid of the three times tokens. So we're moving, I think, to ones and twos currently. However, basically what ends up happening is if you were to go into a 2L or a 3L token, that means you're wanting the price of that coin to go up. If you're going into a 2S or 3S token, you're wanting the price of that coin to go down. All right. So if I would have looked at this and I was super convinced, hey, I think Bitcoin is going to go up. At this point, I would have tried to buy into a 3L or a 2L or potentially a 1L token. Actually, they don't have a 1L token. They have just that coin. So I'm going to buy those tokens or that Bitcoin here. I'm going to ride it up. Now, the 3 and the 2 represent how much leverage is what it's called, but it moves twice that, or it moves times that amount. So for this, if I bought Bitcoin here and it went up, just the coin, it went up 1%, that 3L would have gone up in price 3 times as much. The 2L would have went up 2 times as much. Okay, I'm hoping that everybody understands that part. Now, on the flip side, the same thing would have happened with the S. If I would have bought here, the 3S, okay, so I'm looking, the S is short, the 3S would have gone down 3 times as much as Bitcoin went up. The 2S would have went down 2 times as much as Bitcoin went up. And there are lots and lots of different tokens. Personally, I don't really like to use tokens unless it's a very, very small amount. Occasionally, I'll put 20, 50 bucks on one, just because I have a good feeling about it, just because I see that this is what my technical analysis is showing. and I'll try it, but I'm not putting $100, $200, $300 on a token. You can get burned very, very quickly, very easily that way. All right. So we're looking at tokens here. That's the first thing. And the second thing that I'm going to talk to you a little bit about is what's called a risk to reward ratio. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of slow things down a little bit. All right. And I'm going to show you kind of on my chart the risk to reward ratio. So what that is, some people call it the R to R. You are going to, let me see if I can't type on here. Okay. You are going to want to have at least risk 1 to 2 as a risk to reward ratio. Okay. A 1 to 2 risk. That means that if I am risking 1% with a stop loss, my goal and my take profit is going to be at least 2%. All right. So what does that look like? Well, let's check it out. Let's say we went long right here. Okay. We went long. I'm going to zoom in. We went long right there. Now, let me adjust this a little bit. So if I wanted a risk to reward of 1 to 2, okay, I'm going to bring this up and say, does everybody see where my bottom box is over on the left-hand side over here? I'm going to say that's going to be where my stop loss is, okay? That means my take profit, I'm going to bring it down. So if I went all the way down to about a little bit too much. Let me see if I can't get it. That's close enough. Okay, so right now we're going to pretend like that's a 1.00. What that means is if I put $100 here, I have two options. I can either lose $100 with the stop loss, or I can gain $100 with this take profit. All right, so that's where you would put your take profit. However, here's the thing. If you do at least a 1 to 2 risk reward ratio, ooh, that was a good one, 2.01. Okay, that means that if I put $100 here, I'm risking that $100 to try to gain $200. Okay, that means you have to be right at least 50% of the time, and you're going to break even. Now, when you get pretty good at technical analysis, you can do a 1 to 3. A 1 to 3, which means that you have to be right 1 out of every 3 times. 1 out of every 33%. So you have to be right 33%. So if you take 100 divided by 3, you're going to get 33%. So basically 1 out of every 3 times you need to be correct. Okay. Now, if I would have went long here, okay, if I would have went long here and I put my stop loss here, and I am doing my zone to zone trading, you would have noticed, let's see, I put it at the very bottom of this zone. Very bottom. Look at my risk to reward. My risk is 1. Okay, your risk will always be 1. My reward would be 8.71. That means that if I would have put $100 on it, I potentially could have gained $871. Okay, so that's going to be where your risk to reward is. Now, one of the reasons why I'm saying this is because we have come up to the top zone. All right, so this is my top zone. You can see this candle, it hit, and then there wasn't a whole lot of candle movement up. Now we have a lot of candle movement up. Now, this is where personally I'm coming in, and this is why I'm telling you guys a little bit about my forecast for Bitcoin as well. So we have had a very, very nice run up. Okay. So I have an entry price. If you go and you look at Bitcoin 3S, it's about, let's see what it's at. I'm looking on my app right now. So 3S, my Bitcoin BTC 3S USDT is at 0.551. Okay. I have a trigger price of 0.5. So I've put $30 on it. It's actually $29. And I have a 0.5 to 0.75 grid. Okay. And what I have done is I've put $29 on it because, and this is why I'm saying this, because I feel like if anything, I can get a risk to reward of somewhere around here. I think that we are in this top zone. I think people are going to start getting scared. And I think that people are going to start taking profits in this area. And I do believe that if we go back down, we'll go to about 36, potentially down into here. But I think we can at least get to, let's see, if I do a 1 to 2 risk, so right there. So I think that we will at least go back to 38. Okay. So what that means is, that means that I don't see us necessarily breaking up through this area. I think that risk to reward. So if, like I said, $29. So I'm doing a 1 to 2 risk to reward. So I'm putting $29 on the line. So with that $29, I'm risking it going back down to 38.25. And personally, I think it's going to go back down to at least 37, potentially 36. So really, my risk to reward is going to look like somewhere around in here. It's going to look more like that, which would be a 1 to 4 risk reward, which sometimes you get burned, sometimes you don't. Sometimes you end up winning. Now, again, right now, if we look at the 5-minute chart, we're going to see that Bitcoin has gone down. Okay, you're going to see that it's going down quite a bit. So currently it's at 0.556, and my trigger price is 0.5. So again, it's not going to trigger until it hits 0.5, which we really don't know, but I'm keeping an eye on it. I like the fact that it is in that zone for my zone-to-zone trading. I like that it's in that zone. I do believe it's going to come back up. I do believe that 0.5 will be triggered. And if it goes and it just goes completely haywire and just goes crazy, then we're going to keep going. I have a lot of long positions as well. I got some longs in VET, Theta. All my other positions are longs. ADA. I took a long in Rune. So I'm betting long on all these, but I do believe that within the next 4 or 5 days, I believe we'll hit, and then we'll have a pullback, and we will continue. Hopefully, we will continue upward in that upward direction. All right, y'all. As I said before, if you're not part of Pionex, sign up below. There's a link. Use my link. Subscribe to my channel. Make sure you hit that button. Make sure you hit the bell. That way you get notified whenever I upload another video. If you are having questions about tokens, again, I don't put a lot of money in these. These are very quick. I monitor them much, much more so than what I see or what I do with like a whole coin. So if I'm looking at a coin, I mentioned something about Theta. Theta, EOS, I have those right now. I'm just letting them run. They are coins. So I know that even if it drops below my grid, I know that coin will probably come back. Tokens, you have a chance of having it reverse split, it's not good. They are fun to take a risk with, but make sure you are managing your risk correctly. Okay. All right, everybody. I hope everybody has a great week trading coming into the weekend. Be mindful of where your positions are, and I hope you all stay green.